So far, red side, blue side haven't made much of a difference. It's been Phoenix1 just playing better both these games.
Yeah, I wonder if they even still stick with that Corki ban with how effective Ryu has still been on other champions. It's still going to come through, and we will yet again see him on one of the others. LeBlanc, though, is taken off the list as well. Remember that game number 1? I believe it was, yeah. Game number 1 was the LeBlanc one.
Yep. And game 2, he played Talia and did just fine, but MikeYeung's been getting the better of Dardoch so far. I would argue in both these games, actually, as far as early jungling as well as teamfight contributions. And we'll see if MikeYeung does it again with the Rek'Sai he played in the first game. We are back to the same sides as game 1.
This becomes interesting. How much do they value? Okay,
yeah,
I was going to say, how much to value the Thresh? It's 100%. Now you get the opportunity for maybe taking the Gragas. It could be a flex pick even for both. But again, they've shown that MikeYeung doesn't have the same value on that champion as almost every other jungler in the league.
Right.
And has Rek'Sai even above it.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm very curious to see what happens, of course. Does TL go for laning phase pressure? Like, do they play like Varus Karma or something? And like, well, I can't Varus. Sorry, I take that back. But, you know, something very aggressive, like with a Karma support or even a Zyra, and like really try to win lanes. Does Lourlo go on a Renekton? I mean, he's played it 7 times this split. He's got Gnar available. There you go. That's an option.
And the Gragas?
Yeah, maybe, or do you even wait for something else? I mean, do you go for Lee Sin and like really try to hammer the early game home? That's not going to be the case here for Liquid, but they do try to give Dardoch a better laning matchup. Only difficulty is Maokai is available, which with gank pressure tends to win the matchup because of how reliable the ganks are.
Yeah, I really do see this priority on the Tristana. Piglet, when he has the rocket jump available, like he was making very good early plays as well, you know, offensive ones, but also to have that availability for the late game. The repositioning is kind of invaluable for this team. That plus the Thresh Lantern now on Team Liquid side, I actually have a lot more confidence in their, you know, late game positioning. So
yep,
we'll see if this one does turn it around. That would, you know, cause me to expect maybe Phoenix1 are going to ban out the Gragas. So there is a cost to this. I do think the cost is actually worth it because, especially Dardoch, this guy has a very wide champion pool, and he has played quite a few champions, even in the LCS on multiple teams. You know, he was a guy playing Warwick, nobody else was playing that. So I think he has plenty of options available, and he's not really confined to the Gragas, even though that is a big one. And Phoenix1 aren't even going to use a ban, at least early, on it.
You know what I think it's time for is for Dardoch to bring out Rammus. It's a deciding game here on Piglet's team, and he's got to pick that one.
Did you mean Piglet?
Yeah. Well, he's going to give it to Dardoch, obviously.
There you go.
Bringing into that jungle role. Yeah, Maokai banned away again. I think it's the right choice. It seems to be one of the better matchups into Gnar. I think Gnar handily manages a Renekton and possibly a Kled as well. We'll see. Actually, Kled can be rough, so we'll see if that ends up being the second ban if they let Renekton go through. And P1 going to add their final ban to the mix. They do have not quite mirrored roles. TL needs a jungler, P1 needs top. Both need mid laners.
I always get a little bit excited when I see an early Gnar pick and, you know, the other team has counter pick possible. Yeah, because there's so many flavorful, let's call them, counter picks to Gnar. A lot of them revolve around lane phase, and a lot of them revolve around kill pressure.
Yeah.
But they're very fun to watch, and a lot of them are also very risky.
Sure.
And Zig, to me, is a guy that would take that, right? This is the Jayce guy. This is a, you know, Kled player, so we'll definitely take a look here. The Gragas ban does end up coming through, so they still are going to give him that, you know, kind of token throwaway one there, and he'll be forced onto something else.
And with TL banning away Talia, it means they will just keep adding to the bans of things Ryu played in the previous game. The Jayce going to be the hover. Kobe called it. Could be a flex. Theoretically, Ryu could play it. Hasn't this split, but it is an option, of course. Much more likely to be Zig. It's so funny. It's Zig's third most played champion of the split with 6 games. Compared to the 18 Renektons and 15 Kleds. Like, he's really got a tier list for himself.
Yeah, he has so many games on this champion in solo queue, though. Yeah. And that's kind of why they've been one of the teams that really stuck with it through competitive. He has just so much time on it, and he is one of the guys that really likes to abuse the brush in the top side. He is constantly looking for those auto attacks for the harassment, and that strategy was a bit weakened with the introduction of, you know, the buffs to Doran's shield and a lot of the changes to the top side meta. So a lot of other top laners have stopped playing him, but he holds true to it.
Yep. And as Zach comes through for Dardoch, the nerfs in 7.15 were enough to make it not 100% pick priority in pro play, though it is still a reasonably common pick and ban in general. Thresh in the League of Legends is still successful. He's actually got like a 75% win rate in pro. Small sample, obviously, but it is there. And Dardoch gonna grab that Zac for himself.
Gets an eyebrow raise from Xpecial. Moderately interested.
Cassiopeia in for Ryu, so the backline power is definitely here for P1. Cassio not quite as much a dominant laner unless he gets, you know, some really good poison, but if MikeYeung lands the knockup, you never know.
They definitely have a lot of damage on Phoenix1, but Jayce, even though Zig likes to build Blade of the Ruin King and Black Cleaver, it's still hard for Jayce to kill tanks.
Yeah.
Even though he builds like for it.
I know, right?
It's still difficult. Cassiopeia can definitely melt him, so that's why I really like that last pick for Phoenix1 to really hammer home the AP threat side of it as well. Yeah, tanks are great right now, especially with all the beautiful itemization, but if you make them split itemization at least between armor and magic resist, then you're definitely going to be better off. And Varus, as we said before, the blight stacks also help with that, as well as the way that Arrow builds. So we're definitely going to see some tank v DPS action.
Well, let's see what happens here in this one, as they both got two big frontliners and some damage behind it. 2-0 Phoenix1 so far in this best of 5. One more win and they are done playing Pro League for the year. Liquid move down to the lower bracket. They will await the winner of Gold Coin United versus EU United happening right now on NALCS 2. In case you don't want to see, you know, 3-0 games or something, who knows? Or the TL comeback, of course. They need a reverse sweep for themselves.
Why not both, Phreak?
Yeah. multitwitch.tv/NALCS1/NALCS2. I go to that website about once a week.
Sell out.
I mean, it's just a website that holds Twitch players. Thanks, Kobe.
Hey, he thought it was funny.
He did. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Dardoch. Way to be on Kobe's side, jerk. Typical junglers sticking together.
Good job, Brody. I've tried to use that word a couple times.
It feels wrong.
It doesn't work. I think I'm too old.
I think randomly today I'm just going to tweet a picture of a water bottle at Moon and just see what he says.
Well, now you've spoiled it, so it's not going to be funny.
Unless he's not watching. He's watching GBM, dude. It's his old teammate. He's watching the other series. He has no idea.
That's true.
Yeah, see? Big brain. Doran Shield start for Arrow. Wants to survive a really not that hard of a matchup up against Thresh, but he did that when he's against Lourlo, which I understood. Against Thresh, maybe doesn't need it, but wants to play defensively. Shield start for Lourlo as well, dealing with the Jayce.
Yeah, as we talked about, like that was one of the things that kind of hurt Jayce a bit. He's one that really gained a lot of advantage from weaving in those auto attacks from like the beginning of the game and dropping into the brush to drop your minion aggro and then kind of repeat process. Doran Shield definitely hurt that a bit, but it's still effective. Your gains are just smaller.
Yep.
Health gains.
Absolutely.
Not roids.
Speaking of gains, Dardoch, very muscular Zac right now in purple flavor. Wonder if he tastes like grape.
Purple is its own flavor.
It is.
Thank you very much. Invade here with the Braum, though.
All right, it's going to be a 2v3. They're going to find damage on a Piglet. He's forced to kite back. The stun is in as well, and he's at half HP already.
Oh, man!
That is a massive laning phase.
Holy moly!
Still trying to fight, and it might force a smite out of Dardoch. We'll see.
That
have to do it. He is. Wow.
That is a high-value invade.
Yeah.
Phreak, we're gonna call that one a pretty big victory for Phoenix1.
Potion down.
They both get back in range of experience, but Piglet does
all the CS.
Not get any of the money. Oh my God, his potion is gone. He is down to 30% HP. This
Ouch. Ouch.
Well, we'll leave it at that. Ouch.
Ouch. Matt's going to get some solo farm. And he's going to hope the lane isn't going to freeze against them, but I think it just might. He might get zoned out of XP range for a little while. P1 several times in a row now finding really good level 1s. In the previous, it was Zig and Ryu taking Raptors. This time around, it was forcing a 0 CS recall out of Piglet. Man, P1 came to play.
Yeah, talking about the early game, they are pressuring MikeYeung, working with the pushing lane.
Dardoch's pretty close to getting split in the Bloblets, but he'll get away.
He showed him who's boss, and now he can take away the blue pretty much effortlessly because, as we said, all lanes for Phoenix1 are pushing. Ryu on the Cassiopeia is already into the turret. There's no help for Dardoch. Like he has to leave. There is No other options. And because bottom lane is pushing, it's even dangerous for him to go answer and try and counter steal away the Phoenix1 blue buff.
Yeah.
Like, this is
Braum
why
here
as a
good.
jungler, when your lanes are pushing, you just feel like God.
Yeah.
Especially when you're on a dueling early jungler here. Rek'Sai, easy advantage in the 1v1 with Zach this early on. MikeYeung, pretty much dude in the playground. Well, child in the playground maybe,
I don't know.
Better.
Could be dude in the playground. Dude, slides are fun even if you're like 28.
Dude child.
MikeYeung's legally an adult. He's 18 years old, so he's an adult in the playground. It's fine.
Meanwhile, Zig up top side, into the brush. Look at those minions drop their ass.
Wow! 3 CS lead. He's going to shoot Lourlo twice.
Shock blast.
Zach! Speaking of which, Piglet getting shot at again. And again, those arrows landing time and again.
Xpecial also walks by the minions to get the blast to affect them. Slightly low the HP, and maybe they can get a little bit more zoning off. Constant harass from Arrow, keeps landing.
It'll play and do some damage as well, but Piglet consistently pushing around, and half the time even his healing is cut down by the Rain of Arrow's healing reduction.
Yeah, Dardoch level 3 on Zach. Not incredibly effective, but if he lands the jump onto Zig,
No, Minion Gnar gotta get the flash out of him, and hey, at least it's a flash.
Definitely goes a long way in kind of reducing the aggressive openings here for Jayce. Because it's early in the game and then there are too many paths you have to ward versus a Zach. Yep. Zig, he was bullying pretty heavily before, trying to push him under lane and everything, and only got a couple CS lead anyway. And now he's going to have to stop.
MikeYeung's going to keep bullying. He's actually taking away the Raptors right now. He even gave away the blue to Ryu and is still out-leveling Dardoch and now taking another camp away as well. So Dardoch getting set behind, but Matt's coming around. The play was perfect! Dardoch was insane! And he's going to find MikeYeung vengeance for Matt!
Oh my goodness. Matt comes over to handle business and he's like, get out of Dardoch's jungle. Flash play. He lands the hook afterwards too. Mike flashes into it. Flash play, hooks him right out of it. And there you go. He even takes the kill. That's well deserved for him to take the kill. Bottom lane now with a little bit of money on the support, which they did need. They really need it anywhere they can get down there, because that level 1 definitely took a toll on Piglet.
Yeah, it did. He's still down 10 minions. Got a call. Ooh, Zig almost stops the recall. He was close. Bullet in the air. It's a bit of damage. It did land on a Lourlo. He's actually not full health anymore. Post-recall. But Zig able to shove in this final wave. Lourlo's going to walk back to lane, and Zig going to probably match the recall here himself. We'll see what happens. Looking for the gank in the mid lane. They're going to find a bit onto Ryu. Do they have the follow-through after the bouncing? And no, he gets a stun. Oh, the damage still comes through. Mickey was 6. Gets the knockback, and MikeYeung might just die yet again. 2-0 so far to Liquid. They have found the opening.
Team Liquid fighting back here, pretty necessary. They have their backs against the wall. It's game number 3, and they're getting some kills for themselves. Matt inspires Dardoch. Now he's going off as well. Good gank on the mid lane. Mickey gets to use the ultimate for the effective kill. Last time, he was 0-0-0 for so long.
Yeah.
Out CSing, trying his best, but they weren't able to snowball at all. Now we'll see what Mickey can do with an early kill.
I think they're trying to revisit the lane. He goes Sorkshu's first item for like the earliest power spike you can get. No Phoenix Codex, no Lost Chaplet. He wants 1v1 damage output. Piglet though getting low. He can get stunned with one more auto. The follow through isn't there almost. He forces the summoner heal out, and the next one's going to come through, but Dardoch is nearby. Goes for the Q, flash and the land them together, gets a knock at the flay as well, but Piglet forces a flash away. Matt 1 hit away from dead, and that one comes through. Arrow getting the blue buff turned back over, and Dardoch going to be split up, and Lourlo's TP is already down. He cannot save his life, so that is going to be an easy couple of kills, a double to Arrow.
Pretty sure Zig went and interrupted the teleport with the hammer from Jayce. Either that or he decided to cancel it himself, which I find fairly unlikely. Phoenix1 able to collapse there. Huge presence from Xpecial and Arrow means that even though MikeYeung is later to the party than Dardoch, they already took so much health out of Piglet and Matt. They're able to win, plus push down this turret. This kind of puts a big stop to the Team Liquid rally that was going on. They were getting some momentum going for themselves, but Phoenix1 quickly take over in bottom side.
That lost round 2, but Smite way better than the Thresh hook. Lourlo does have the shorter TP cooldown. He did manually cancel, but that might have been... It could have been the threat of the the threat of the Jayce still.
Yeah.
Like,
you see him running
Stomp in a melee range. Yeah.
Maybe we'll see during the replay.
I'll watch the
here's
minimap.
Here's the 2 versus 2. Really good. Last auto there does get the stun. And then they get the second Braum sum on a match. So basically the two-member squad is already out of it. Here's what
going back in time slightly.
So he did the best he could. He went into the brush, but
Zig's so smart.
Zig got the vision there with the shock blast.
Yeah,
big brain on him as well. We know what happens afterwards.
Yep.
Like I said, he has played that champion a ton in solo queue, and able to get that interrupt onto Lourlo. Now he's got teleport advantage in the Jayce lane.
That's a really big deal. So P1 able to stem the bleeding from a couple of early kills and some nice ganks out of Dardoch and roams from Matt, but now with that turret going down, 2.3 thousand gold, the lead for Phoenix1. 3 games in a row they've gotten first turret. It's looking a bit difficult, TL, even though they've gotten first blood in 2 of these 3, have routinely been down in gold by 10 minutes. Lourlo able to tie up the farm, but Zig again, as you mentioned, does have TP advantage. Dardoch hoping for the play. Zig still flashed down, and Gnar's building up right now. This actually high percentage play.
I really like the play to go at the guy with the teleport advantage. They get 50%.
Pulls them in. Dardoch has the ult, he never goes for it though, and does not let's bounce him back to the turret. So
Ninja Tabby, Gnar, and a Zac, so they don't have the DPS.
Yeah, seemingly not. Zig does basically nothing but sit there and say, okay, that was cute, and just keeps laning.
Well, he had a potion. He's able to drink his potion up, but
we missed the ward over the wall, so Zig doesn't see this coming. Q, auto attack, gonna pull him a little bit, but not enough.
Oof. All right, that's gonna give the rest of Phoenix1 a bunch of time because Dardoch spent good 30 seconds up there with 2 ganks. So they take over the scuttle. Meanwhile, down bottom, Piglet actually is in a brush, looking at Arrow on Varus in the AD carry 1v1.
The items are not even close. There's no way Piglet wins.
There's also a flash for Arrow, so okay, not gonna happen.
Yeah,
but he was hiding in the bush, not looking aggressively. Whenever I see Piglet moving towards someone,
I feel you. Lourlo on round 2, flash up for Zig. This could be a decent chase. He hops forward. And that forces the flash hit again, pretty much on cooldown.
Yeah, I think that was definitely necessary there for Zig to flash out.
I agree.
Good job by Lourlo hiding in the brush, trying to get that summoner back. Phoenix1 with a 2,500 gold lead. Whoop. Made you look.
Yeah, smart of Piglet to try. I mean, 2 rocket jump in case it did land, but slightly sideways with Arrow. With the lane control, this could be an easy cloud drag to P1. Just going to maintain their stranglehold on the map.
30+ CS lead for Arrow in the bottom lane. Tower destroyed. Snowballing definitely happening around that area for Phoenix1. Now that they've been able to destroy the tower, they can even move Arrow and Xpecial to the mid lane and try and take out kind of the point power there for Team Liquid, which is Mickey, who got that early kill, and you know, he hasn't gotten any extra ganks around that top side or the mid lane, but looks like they're going to keep Arrow down here and just kind of continue to carve out more money on the bottom side instead.
The gold keep coming in, looking for the gank. Arrow jukes it, but didn't have a way out. Gonna get slammed into the minions. There's the play as well. Hooks and gets right behind his teammate, so Xpecial flies low with that shield. TP now coming in for both these tops. Lourlo has joined, wants to leap the wall, but he's still minion arm for a while. And the grounding comes across. Mickey's sent to his room. He's gonna be forced right back. Ryu has alone time. He can rejoin this fight. Now look for the next play. Hook not gonna land, but a pull back in for Dardoch, and the first kill does come through Piglet, getting the buster shot over the wall. The rocket jump to follow in. MikeYeung gonna flash as well. And that is a small team fight win for Liquid, getting that kill unanswered.
It was a pretty good evacuation there as they got Arrow out, but then they're able to find the straggler kill here. Nice move by Piglet to go back in and get some money. Team Liquid, while they are behind and they're trying to get back into this game with defensive plays, they're getting the kills onto the right places. At least the 2 kills that they most recently got were the Syndra and the Tristana, so
Dardoch is ganking up a storm, 100% KP. He gets a flash out of Ryu as well, so now he's summonerless Cassiopeia. Could be a repeat gank. Dardoch himself actually only down 400 gold individually under MikeYeung, not bad.
Every single summoner spell is on cooldown right now for Phoenix1. They are completely vulnerable here. Even though they do have this gold lead, Team Liquid, as you said, Dardoch is kind of the point man who could make something happen. And I really do like them if they would, start to create more plays around Mickey. Syndra ultimate, pretty low cooldown. That will come up before all of the flashes of Phoenix1. And it's just such extra security in securing a kill. Maybe they can get their game turned around that way.
We'll see if they can do it. Looking for a sneak play with Dardoch and Matt waiting in the brush, looking for the play. Oh, no, it was Gnar. I believe it was Lourlo. They're going to find Arrow. The knockup is there. And he's double hit. Going to pull him in. Dardoch going to flash for the Let's Bounce. He's not going to land it, though. He misses the damage, but the kill still comes in anyway. And there's a nice hook and the Lantern to follow as well. Matt is in there. And Xpecial will drop 3 straight kills for Liquid now.
Nice little snowball there. Matt threads the hook right past the minion. Timely Lantern, and Team Liquid gonna get some objectives for themselves afterwards as well. Big comeback here.
This will tie up the gold just about only 100 apart. This was huge. Liquid needed something like this, and they finally found it. Coming back from a large CS deficit and more. Piglet needing a ton of extra cash. Cole still 33 stacks to go.
Ooh, I quite like this Abyssal Mask actually on Cassiopeia. He's usually fairly close to be able to get quite a bit of damage, and it helps so much against Syndra's ultimate as well. Decent defenses there.
55 MR, and keep in mind it has the Catalyst passive, so the damage you take and the mana you spend both give you the other resource back. So
yeah,
I
plus,
like this.
Remember that Zach is mostly magic damage there, right? Almost completely. So it helps him against the jungler as well.
Not the best bounce, but
yeah, even though he misses, Matt's got the right angles here.
Yep. You know, it was a cute play, but he had the right angle and made it happen.
I could tell you were coming up with something. It took a little too long there
to bounce back after you said right angle, and I'm like, all right, we're going trigonometry at this one.
I could tell you were like searching. It was like the Phreak search engine goes off through his list of puns.
Yeah. I was Punnium 2 running that one. It's Punnium 2? All right.
I got it.
Yeah. Okay, just making sure.
We're moving on. Phoenix1 trying to move on as well, because the gold right back to even here. And the Zach, 5 assists here for Dardoch, 100% kill participation. Far more than anyone on the team, right? He's doing the jungler job, moving around the map, trading all over the place. And he's looking to it once again.
He's gonna look for this one. Lourlo knocked back by Zig, who does have flash. Not gonna use it yet. Q onto the minion. Yes, pulls back a little bit of distance. He's gonna trade back on Lourlo. Gnar should be up soon, and he actually blocks the shock blast. The chase is in. They can get Zig. One more auto. He delays the transformation to keep the ranged auto attacks. Lourlo smarting. Ooh, gonna get hit up though. Nice Gnar into the wall, flashing to build some space, and they are gonna get a kill. Maybe the top side Xpecial, not long for the world. The kill's gonna come in. Matt somehow steals it with Ignite.
Team Liquid are going off all over the map. Cross map kills there for them. 3 down for Phoenix1 now, and they are bleeding gold.
They absolutely are. 6 now unanswered kills, and that top lane outer has gone down. What a nice play.
Matt is just going off. Goes in with the Thresh. Lantern's in Mickey. There's that Syndra ultimate. Pretty easy to lock up that kill. And then they're able to get another one. Mickey with the roam here is the one who really makes this. MikeYeung farming in the jungle. Now he's the lone guy left out here to watch as the minions come towards the turret. Just trying to pick up that little bit of CS.
Yes, he is. But we have got ourselves a series. Liquid finally showing signs of life. And it's so easy just to tilt when you're like, oh my god, we got smashed twice in a row. It's hopeless. Everyone is trash. This game sucks, but they're playing really, really nicely here on this one. Looking for a bit more. Mickey, got to be careful. Doesn't get slowed out by Xpecial, though, and he's fine.
Does have his flash. The Drake is on the table. Zig does have his teleport, but Phoenix1 would rather not use it. Looks like right now, sending him back out onto the field for Team Liquid to get the minions back in place. Lourlo is headed top to answer.
Great, though. P1 going to grab a neutral objective easily enough.
Yeah, could be an answer at the Rift Herald. It does take a long time to take, though, so if Phoenix1 wanted to, they could send everyone up there to deny the answer. They don't even send, people to defend that Rift Herald, so it looks like they don't value it very highly, and they just have Ryu pushing in the bottom side, trying to get minions instead.
Yep, instead. Well, you're good. IE done for Piglet, building towards the Zeal now, so he's starting that slow climb up towards his relevance. 1-0-3, but it's been largely set up by his teammates. He's going to keep scaling. Piglet has done a lot of damage in this series, especially on that Trist game. It was insane, but a bit of a uphill battle for him still, maybe. 800 gold still the only difference. And these two Drakes, you still argue that P1 are a bit stronger in this game. Debatable regardless. We'll see if the tank line can hold up for Liquid as we look for the next play.
Yeah, it definitely looks good, because even though you could say, oh yeah, you know, Rek'Sai and Braum are frontliners, those are the lowest gold income members of the team, jungle and support, so they'll be the squishiest. Plus, just by champion kit, Zac is inherently more tanky than Rek'Sai with the passive, with the constant healing from Roblet, so the frontline from Team Liquid is far more impressive.
Yeah.
Not to mention the playmaking abilities that they have. And as we said before, even though Zig builds Black Cleaver and then usually builds Blade of the Ruin King afterwards, it's still difficult to shred through tanks, even with those 2 tank killing items.
See if you can get through it then. It's going to be maybe an uphill battle. We'll see what happens. Knight's Vow again, going to grab pretty early for Dardoch. Again, the strategy for Liquid is constantly to try to play around Piglet, it seems. Based on what we've been doing here.
Well, Lourlo is charging up his Gnar bar right now in the side lane, and there are wards behind Phoenix1. You have to be careful about those wards. Yeah, to see that straggler on the top of your screen that was in the middle of the lane. If that is a Mega Gnar coming in, he doesn't have flash, but if he's already behind you,
yeah, doesn't need to go. You go into a Gnar, into a Zac, neither one's easy. Gnar's crowd will certainly last long enough to set up a Let's Bounce with really no difficulty. I was going to say margin for error, but that's the opposite of what I mean. A lot of margin for error. So Chain CC could absolutely be there. And without any cleanses on the P1 lineup, the stuns that land will stick. Merc Treads can't be bought by Ryu, and Arrow didn't get them. So the back line, even Zig as well, all going to take full crowd control duration.
Also, we should definitely touch on this red buff by Lourlo, because that is not just a, oh, I'm here, I'm going to take the red buff, you know, I don't have anything to do. This is a decision by the team as a whole, even though people so often just assume it's AD carry territory because they're ranged and they can apply it pretty easily in the team fights. In a split push, red buff does so much for Gnar, who already has the Black Cleaver. Cooldown reduction spam on your boomerang. Now you're also going to have the consistent slow, plus underestimated part of red buff is the health regeneration, and Lourlo is a bit more tanky.
Absolutely the case here in this one, going for tank after the Black Cleaver, so not Mallet yet. Going for, could be Thornmail or a Rand with Dominex item. They both go for the same pieces, so wait to be seen what he actually buys. Either way, he's obviously building to handle Arrow and Vic, which makes a lot of sense, of course. Knight's Vow now done for Dardoch. Looks like he has not bound with Piglet, though. I think it might have been on Mickey. I'm waiting to see what comes in next, as Matt's going to buy his own version of the item. And yeah, if Matt's going to stay hanging out with Piglet, then that makes sense.
Yeah. Tristana's still trying to get to the first completed seal item, so more DPS at this stage coming out of the level 13 Syndra available, probably.
Yeah. Pretty likely. Luden's Echo not far away from Mickey here in this one. Relanamakon Sorcery's already done. 5 stacks for the Dark Seal. P1, as far as their Power Spikes Shiv, is now done for Arrow, so we've got the wave clear. He can actually crush Minue's fast. Locket not far for Xpecial either. And Ryu's still stacking up that tier. But no Ruin King yet for Zig. You might need that before he can actually deal with Lourlo easily.
Remember, too, you always have to think about these really odd angles when you're playing against the Zac. So Phoenix1 need to put more time into all these wards behind the walls, because Dardoch's engage range is so long now with the maxed out level 5 elastic slingshot. There are all kinds of crazy areas you can get from. You can actually get from the Dragon Pit all the way into the Brambleback Red Buff Pit. That's just an example of the distance. Rift Herald goes down. I believe it was about to time out. That's why I just popped it here. Phoenix1 should be able to take care of it, but
yeah, this will be almost no damage. Yeah. Won't even reach. So
5 gold given up.
Yeah, 100 gold gained by TL for the kill, but certainly doesn't mean much. So looks like P1 did not have to even stop the Rift Herald take in the first place. It meant nothing for him at the end of the day. And this game is still only 400 apart. This is winnable on either side. Item ends up being Randuin's for Lourlo, so not caring as much about the damage return, but more about surviving crits. Not sure if it was the right choice, but it is certainly more durable as a choice regardless. Gonna look for a bit of damage on an Arrow, down to 1/3 on him. Over the wall comes Dardoch. The first damage from MikeYeung. Can he dodge the Syndra ulti? There was going to be a rush back towards Arrow, and yes, the shots come through. Mickey built up enough spheres, and Arrow got flashed upon and died. A turret kill for the Gnar, and here comes the dive in for Ryu. He's going to let down 2 win. Dardoch to set up the kills. 3 for 0, and the turret's falling as well.
Team Liquid strike back, and Baron is next up on the table. It's only Zig and MikeYeung to see what they can do about it. With Lourlo still split pushing, there's just too much pressure from Team Liquid.
Absolutely great stuff out of Liquid. MikeYeung's alive, but he's so far away on the map, there is no contest. TL finally with the gold lead, 3,000 up. That'll finish at 4.5 with Baron falling. And Lourlo actually still pushing as well. Just now backing off, thinks he might be jumped on. TL finally with the first significant lead of the entire series.
Yeah, Matt looking a lot better, Dardoch looking a lot better, both of them creating plays around Mickey on his Syndra. He lands the stun once again onto Arrow. He knows that Arrow has nothing to dodge his ultimate, so once the Braum ultimate, or Braum Unbreakable Will goes down, he flashes right past that Rek'Sai. He's got his eyes on Arrow, and Arrow actually even uses the heal as well. Not gonna be able to survive. Then Dardoch on the Zac gets behind Ryu to start channeling his ultimate. Gets 2 of them back out for the extra kills. That's the Baron buff, and that is gonna be a lot of turrets.
5,000 gold so far. They've already reset for items once. We'll see what comes in next for this. Double Knight's Vow done, and the Locket not far away for Dardoch, really building to protect the team on this engaging Zac. Unselved to the build. Nice hook comes in. No more to be had. The bot lane's been set up already by Lourlo, so the chase continues in for TL. They're on a ward, but Dardoch holds the slingshot. Gives his muscles a rest. I think he has the damage with his turret. And that will fall here. 9 kills and 4 turrets unanswered by only a Drake from P1 in the last 15-20 minutes of the game.
Is this going to be the start of the Team Liquid reverse sweep? They certainly are making an effort here. Dardoch with the knock-in. They don't want to extend this fight, though. They've got a split-pushing Mega Gnar here. Lourlo's taking down the turret during all this action on bottom side and gets 70% of it.
Yeah, really nice stuff by him so far. And he's still got some more time. Back to Mini, arguably makes it easier to push. Getting chased out by Cassiopeia, Ryu triggers Storm Raiders, and now Dardoch's here. He lands the slow, but doesn't want to chase any further. Got to flash away because MikeYeung could have got the knock-up, and that could have been death, but meanwhile, bot lane is falling, and turret's already gone. And TL know that the Marksman of Phoenix1 must respect this. But they still back off. The threat of MikeYeung and Ryu showing up was there. Turret falls in the mid lane, though. More picked up. 6 straight turrets now for Liquid. Root's gonna land though, they gotta watch out because Piglet's been chain CC'd. They don't click the knock-up. MikeYeung did not have the flash to follow in. And maybe not the ulti either. But now it's a 5v4 because it's dead for Xpecial. Now dead for Arrow, 5v3, and Zig forced to flash away. TL had more damage than they thought. Even with Piglet gone, he gets a trade kill at least, but the damage still gonna come through. Here comes Zac in the front line. Zig just barely stays alive, actually. No one's falling just yet. The bloblets spilled over, and Ryu here for the cleanup. P1 actually pulls the wool over their eyes. Looking for the bamboozle with TP, trying to keep his respawn coming across, and Dardoch actually survives it. The mid-fight TP by Lourlo doesn't matter than Deft ever could, and keeps his teammate alive, and it's only Zig now surviving. The fight went back and forth. TL coming ahead. Dardoch with 5 HP survives it. His voice higher pitched than mine at this point. The inhibitor gonna fall.
Well done. Piglet here now on the inhibitor as well. This is number 2, but a lot of the revives are coming through for Phoenix1, chasing them outside of the base.
Whew. What a battle. Liquid coming out ahead though. 4 kills to 2 at the end of the day, I believe is the count.
Grab God Phreak.
I guess. None of it rhymed though.
All right, we'll take another look at it because it was just the chain routes we talked about, and MikeYeung is trying to get in the middle, you know, the Lantern passive so he can unburrow during the time when Piglet is flying over him, but he can't quite get there, not enough boost speed. Piglet then recalls with the Baron-empowered recall. You saw him leave on the bottom left corner of your screen, and he runs from base now, able to push up mid lane afterwards. Mickey goes down to the ultimate of MikeYeung, and then collapse. Dardoch comes in, and it looks like they're going to start cleaning up, but they have no damage here. These are all the tanks. So Ryu gets it out. Lourlo does a decent amount, but during the revive here of Dardoch, Lourlo is able to kill off MikeYeung, and that means it's 1 versus 2.
Incredibly slim margins there as well. Then Dardoch just hits W. pops the kill. MikeYeung falls over, and they have the cleanup at the end of the day. So 6,000 gold, almost Baron power play. More than 10k, and the fight's going to continue. A 3-man stun by Mickey, but Xpecial going to block that one off. Doesn't matter, though. Lourlo picked up the kill. A Rampage, 4-0-3. Matt getting another. He's got 4 himself. Second place kill leader on the squad as Dardoch gets the backline. Looks for Ryu. Looks for some damage. Let's bounce in melee range. Double kill now for the Gnar. He's got 5. One more, and as, yep, the triple comes across, and the kills everywhere there. An ace in for the Zac final kill, 20-4. And TL going to take this one home. Going to bring that scoreline 2-1 and hope that they can make that reverse sweep happen. They are still behind in games. P1 still have the chance. They've got 2 more tries to shut this one out. The TL finally shows signs of life. As the Nexus falls, a sub 30-minute win is going to give them a lot more confidence heading into game 4.
Yeah, Team Liquid looking angry. They are just all over the place. Super proactive playmaking from all members there. 20-4. Giant sweep, pre-30-minute victory there to come back in game number 3 in this series. 2-1 currently in favor of Phoenix1.
Yep. And I wonder the flashbacks are beginning of Phoenix1, like, oh no, this happened last time. We went 2-2. We had to clamor back together for game 5. I don't know if they really wanted to go that distance again, but whew, what a doozy. I mean, the first 2 games, again, were so dominant for P1. It wasn't always at minute 1. I mean, TL got first blood, and, you know, in the very first games, you know, there were things there, but the fact that Dardoch just, like, from getting out jungled by MikeYeung really heavily, to getting invaded at like level 3 and getting forced out of like all of his camp.
He was chased out of his own jungle.
Yeah, at level 3. Just like, all right, you're right, wolves are yours. I'm just kidding. You can take my blue, you can take my Gromp, whatever you want. And he really bounced back really nicely.
And Matt said, you cannot take the Raptors.
Yeah.
You can have the blue, you can have the Gromp.
I'll take the blue. It's going back to me now on this one. And honestly, a well-played game. Matt stepped back up really nicely. Piglet unkilled Mickey with some good ultimates. And now for an in-depth look at how Liquid fought back in that series, let's send it over to our analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Phreak. I'd buy your rap album if you go ahead and put one out. Great job so far on that series. Now, Team Liquid able to find themselves a win here against P1.
Yeah, and thankfully for them, they're going to be able to build a little bit of confidence off that. I think this was a much better game from TL. This is kind of more closely like the games they had yesterday, right, where they looked super dominant. People were coming into this series expecting, well, TL just smashed yesterday, P1 struggled. Surely TL will be coming out on top, but it hasn't been the story so far.
And what I've liked about this series so far is the fact that they didn't have it the whole way. They kind of lost a bot lane gank, I guess, that didn't go their way. Zig stopped it and ended up being 2-0 for P1. Because fighting against adversity is always something that we talk about with any LCS team, and they were able to do it here.
Yeah, I mean, TL's bot lane was ridiculously behind early on in the game. Piglet was, having about half the CS. He was down a couple kills, and that was looking like a really, really good start for P1. Something that you would expect them to be able to snowball. But at the same time, on the other side of the map, Lourlo, I think, had been much more effective. Lourlo got a good lead for himself. Mickey was having a good game. Dardoch was able to be very effective. Even the play that the casters just highlighted of Matt, like the first blood even was ridiculously good from him. So TL actually got back into this game through a lot of playmaking and through a lot of really nice map movement.
Let's go back to that top side of the map, because earlier you said you didn't really like that Jayce pick and that it didn't quite work out, and obviously Lourlo took advantage of it.
Yeah, I just really am not a fan of Jayce as a top lane pick. If it is going to be played, I prefer it mid lane. There are some lanes that Jayce can smash. This is not, in my opinion, one of them. That being said, it can work. It's just a situation where when we talk about scaling, when we talk about these sorts of things, Jayce has to smash lane, I feel like, to have effectiveness. And in the NALCS, time and time again, we have seen this pick fail. At one point in the height of its popularity, it had something like a 10% win rate in NALCS, because even if they got big CS leads, teams really struggle to actually convert on that to find effectiveness, because it's not something like a Fiora or a Jax where you can always just take over in a side lane. It's not something like a tank where you have a big lead and you can just dive. So he has to play this kind of split pushy type game where he then groups with the team and tries to poke him out and then find duels and all these things. And I just think that Jayce is so hard to execute on. And when you get behind, you're almost worthless.
And maybe that has something to do with the top lane players that we have in the North American pool, because you look at it, that's one of the big import roles that gets taken on in. You've got Impact, someday Flame, and in the promotion tournament right now, you've got 4 North American top laners. So,
well, I mean, the fact of the matter is, even when some of the Koreans were playing it wasn't looking good, right?
Sure.
You know, when you talk about Flame, he's obviously had a better season. We're getting kind of far away from the point, but either way, I think that it is a comfort pick for Zig. That's why they did it. And Gnar has a lot of really good matchups, so this is something that can fight against him. But if it doesn't go well early, it's certainly not going to go well late.
Right, and it didn't go well early, didn't go well in the mid game either, as we have a replay here. In the mid lane, a big fight that ended up working out well for Team Liquid, 3-0.
Yeah, and then we see kind of the power of Zac. This is a pick that has been overlooked time and time again in the recent weeks of competitive play, but Dardoch was able to find some really nice plays in this game, a lot of really good grabs, and the amount of CC he was actually bringing is pretty incredible. And the fact that there had already been a chunk down on Arrow meant Mickey's able to very easily delete him once he was down. Dardoch comes in for the follow-up, able to find a 2-man ult, pull the rest of them in, 2 more kills. And I mean, Zac looks so ridiculously strong when it is working, when it is effective, because of the amount of CC that he brings, because of the incredible engage that he brings. But obviously you can be shut down very early in the game, and this is something where a Rek'Sai can take advantage of you. And had Matt not actually been able to turn that around and perhaps take down MikeYeung very early in the game with an incredible play by the Raptors, maybe this looks like a very different game, because maybe Dardoch never actually gets off the ground.
And I love that clip there. Braum's safe, Xpecial's like, sorry, but you know what? I'll go ahead and go with you. We'll take the Braum with the Zac ultimate as well back into the team. And I like the conversation of the fact that you have 2 different mindsets on how you want to play. Tristana on one side, Varus on the other. Let's scale late or let's play early. And Phoenix1 had been getting away with the fact that they've been able to push the tempo and get the leads that they need to snowball into a victory.
Yeah, certainly. And they did have some late game insurance, obviously with the Cassiopeia. I don't think that Jayce is very strong in an even game later, but if you're ahead, great. Yeah. The Cassio is going to scale very heavily. Varus adds respectable teamfight damage. They have kind of some strength in different areas of the game to try to push a fast game towards the later stages and then try to close it out, hopefully before TL is able to take over with a massive front line and they're protecting Tristana, which has been such high priority for them, and it's very easy to see why.
Now, we were talking earlier between these 2 teams, the carries showing up and carrying their own weight. How do you grade both these carries on both sides of the teams here?
I mean, I think it's tough to say, because this one was a very snowballed game. This was a game that TL looked extremely dominant in. I think overall, P1's carries today have been performing at a very high level. I think Ryu has had some very, very strong games, and Arrow's laning has been strong. That said, if you're looking at the promotion tournament as a whole, yesterday, Mickey and Piglet were monsters. Right. In this game, they were both very strong as well, despite the fact that Piglet started quite from behind. So Mickey in general has impressed me throughout. I'd say Piglet has been having a pretty strong promotion tournament. I'd be interested to see how he does if he's getting pushed off the Tristana more often, though, because he certainly didn't look nearly as effective on Kog'Maw.
And what's not allowing the teams to ban away Triss? Just throw 3 bans in the AD carry pool. Take away the Caitlyn, take away the Kalista, and take away the Tristana. I
mean, for the most part, it just seems like they're more concerned about other picks. Like, that's obviously the easy answer, is that it's, hey, they're more worried about a J4 or a Thresh or even a Maokai in some of these cases. But I do tend to agree, make him show you some different styles, make him show you some different strengths, because the Tristana has been working so well for them, both in early turret pushing and in the late game team fighting. All
right, well, we're going to go ahead and take a step away, but when we come back, we can see if Phoenix1 can recover in Game 4, if TL will bring us some silver scrapes. Stay with us. You're watching the North American Promotional Tournament.